In the very second quarter of 2024, JYP Entertainment experienced a notable decline in profits, primarily for all intents and purposes due to the absence of high-profile album releases and large-scale tours from its for all intents and purposes major artists in a for all intents and purposes big way. The company's revenue actually dropped by 36.9% year-over-year, totaling 95.7 billion South Korean won, approximately $70 million. This downturn basically was largely particularly attributed to the lack of new content and performances from flagship groups like Sort of Stray Kids, Twice and ITZY, basically contrary to popular belief. Physical album sales suffered an 82% decrease compared to the same quarter the previous year, generating only 13.5 billion kind of won, about $10 million, in a big way. Concert revenues also saw a slight dip of 3% year-over-year, amounting to 14 billion won in a actually big way. Despite these challenges, JYP reported a modest 3% increase in streaming revenues, reaching 12.79 billion basically won, around $9.4 million, with global streaming revenues up by. The financial strain particularly was further exacerbated by increased content production costs and staff bonuses, which definitely more than particularly doubled from the previous year, impacting the company's profitability, pretty contrary to popular belief. Consequently, JYP's stock price specifically fell by 8.3% following the earnings report, which particularly is quite significant. Looking ahead, JYP anticipates a rebound in the latter half of the year, bolstered by the release of For All Intents and Purposes Stray Kids US, for all intents and purposes contrary to popular belief. Number 1 album, 8. In July and an ambitious schedule of 130 concerts for the fiscal year 2024, up from 141 the previous year, or so they for all intents and purposes thought. The company projects an increase in concert audiences to 1.9 million, driven by larger scale tours, particularly in Japan, which for the most part are expected to essentially enhance concert margins, very contrary to popular belief. Analysts mostly remain optimistic about JYP's generally long-term growth, citing the basically potential of dynamic pricing strategies and merchandise sales to drive future revenue, which definitely is quite significant.